What is up, everybody? This is Mason with the Next Guy Up podcast. I got Zach here. I got Tinsley here. You know how they had the big three on the Heat where it was Chris Bosh, LeBron, and D Wade?
Mm-hmm.
We're back, baby. All three of us in the studio today. We got the takes. Tinsley's shaking his head. He's ready to go. How's everybody doing? How are we doing, Zach?
I think that should be a draft. Best trios in history. Three Musketeers.
Best big threes.
Would you draft us
Best big threes.
101?
Papa
We could
Bear,
come up
Mama
with
Bear,
something
Baby
like
Bear.
that.
We're up there.
Next Guy podcast.
Yeah, we're a big three. We've been banged up a little bit the last couple weeks.
We've been taking shots from everywhere.
It's been
trying to keep us down.
But we're back. We're all here.
Yeah, we're recording a little late. Mason doesn't know about this, but there's some
children
tragedies happening around.
Oh, yeah.
There's some children stuff going on in two of the households. Then Mason reminds himself, he's like, oh, yeah, fun uncle. That's why I say that.
Been saying it for years.
I was ready to jump on. My baby decides to just throw up all over the place and spit up all over my wife. And she was like just about ready for sleep. And then it's just like, you got to start all over again. You got to change all the clothes. You got to just start the whole process again.
Yeah, that's tough. I have my first really funny Tatum story for everyone real quick. Didn't tell the boys this yet. So last night I was very tired. We had a quick hospital stay. Morgan she had a surgery this week. It's been a chaotic few days for your boy. I was on daddy duty of 3 by myself up until today. So it's been crazy. So last night, very tired. Tatum gets up at 3 a.m. to eat. I guess I was like sleepwalking doing it. And luckily Morgan was like, what are you doing? I made his bottle, but it just filled up with Sprite. And as I was changing his diaper, he peed all over me. Just direct impact shot it at me. And I was like so tired still where I was just like, I just went, he's peeing on me. And I was still like moving kind of slow. And Morgan was like, go get in the shower. I can tag in. I'm okay. So that was the first I finally got peed on. All my friends at work, they're like, have boys. They're like, it's gonna happen. He's gonna pee on you. Finally,
I've been peed on, but it's less violent.
Right? Yeah. The girls when they were little, like I'd pick them up to go take them to the bathtub, and they peed on me. But no, this was different. This was a lot. This was intense. Had to strip the bed. Everything had to get thrown in the washer at 3 a.m.
Let's not
get any of the Sprite.
Tim's almost feeding Tatum Sprite.
Yeah, I did. It was so I don't know.
Boy, that would have been something right there. I don't know.
Morgan was like, "Where's his bottle?" And I was like, "I think I put it on the bassinet." And she was like, "What did you put? Why is this clear liquid?" And then she like opened it and smelled it. She's like, "This is Sprite." I was like, "I don't know what I did. I had to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on."
I thought you were going to say like Code Red or something like that.
And then she said she went to the kitchen. I had put the distilled water lid on the Sprite and the Sprite lid on the distilled water. She was like, I don't know what your problem was. I was like, I don't either. I was like,
he doesn't know where he was.
Yeah, I was on another planet.
So they were next to each other. So that was like I was like, how did you end up?
No, you don't feed a baby water.
It was milk. Okay. I got you now.
Well, I guess you're using the water to make formula.
Yeah.
Right.
I looked at big three. The number one was LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. LeBron James, Wade, Chris Bosh. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. And then look, Next Guy Up podcast, number 4.
Wow.
That's crazy stuff.
I'd take number 4.
Shout out to us.
I can live with that.
Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Wes Welker.
Fun fact, Wes Welker never won a Super Bowl. And neither did Randy Moss with the Patriots.
And they're going to be in the big three. Peyton Manning, Edgerrin, how do you say his name? James and Marvin Harrison, yeah.
Edgerrin James.
There you go. Words.
Words.
And we were on there. Top 10.
Wow.
So, Real quick, Zach is the only one out of the three of us in our fantasy football league that's still in the running for championship. We're in the playoffs.
I'm in the losers championship game this week. What you talking about?
I don't know if this might be my first time in the semifinals, to be honest with you. Maybe second time ever, but maybe.
How long have you been playing for?
I don't know, many years. It doesn't matter. It all comes down to this, folks.
Well, the reason why I was asking is you've been playing for a really long time, and I feel like this would mean a lot to you, right?
It would, for sure.
To get and we have a trophy in our league for those that don't know, but the questions, and Tinsley can answer this as well, but it was mostly for Zach just because he's never won fantasy football before.
True.
So I came up with a couple would you rather questions.
Okay.
Zach and Tins. Would you rather win your fantasy football league or have your regular team, like not fantasy, so this is just like Titans, make the playoffs?
Jaguars make the playoffs.
Yeah.
For sure.
Would you rather win your fantasy league or UT to win this weekend against Ohio State?
UT to win.
Mason, I would.
So would you rather
win this weekend?
Win your fantasy league or have the first pick in the NFL draft?
I don't care about that.
You don't care about the first pick?
Not this season. I just feel like there's not any.
I'd rather have the first overall pick.
I think I'd rather win.
Travis Hunter looked nice until.
He's fine. Travis Hunter mid. Some people.
Oh wow, a take.
What do you?
He's not mid. He's not mid. He's not mid.
Oh, are you a reps or just aren't a stats guy?
No,
you big Ashton Genty believer.
I know there's a lot of people who've been making that take. I think it's fine. I think he's great.
Does this have to do with the Heisman?
Well,
situation here.
Well, yeah, it's fine. I really don't. A lot of people are mad about it. I'm less mad than people. I don't care that much. I think he had a good season.
I think if he would have went to Georgia or Florida State, like I think he gets a lot of hate because he jumped on like the Deion Sanders hype train and went where he went, and people kind of don't like what Deion did, so they in turn don't like Travis. Like I think if Travis would have went to Georgia and did this at Georgia since he was a freshman, like he would be pretty hyped up as like, I don't know, this all-star player that everybody loves. But he's got like a weird mark next to it just because he went to go play for Colorado.
I don't think it's the Colorado thing as much for me. I think it is. I think most people's reactions are two-pronged. One is the Big 12 of it all and the competition level they faced. A lot of people, and the same can be said for Genty, though, for sure. It's like, they were for sure padding stats at points in the season against pretty bad competition at times. The second prong is, I think what Travis Hunter does kind of feels like a party trick right now. Like something cool it's unique, it's different. It is ultra impressive. But like, what would we do if there was a kicker next year who hit like 65 yarders and went 100%? Would he be the Heisman because he did something that no one else has ever done before?
Did I send that to you guys where on NCAA this guy was trying to get a kicker?
I saw that.
He was over here making 70 yarders somehow. Like, I don't know. And he wasn't even getting player of the game. It was like the losing quarterback was getting player of the game. He's like, yeah, this is impossible, but I'm going to keep trying.
I mean, I like that it's not a quarterback this year. I think that's cool. And I think that it's cool that he got it. But I feel like for a lot of people, it feels more like you're playing against the bad competition. You're playing both sides of the ball, which is ultra hyper impressive. Is it going to translate to the NFL? I don't know. Will an NFL team let him play both ways? Probably not, I would guess. And
not at the rate that his snap counts are insane.
No, he won't last.
He plays special teams.
He won't last long. Yeah, he can't do that.
I think he's a corner in the NFL with some packages, some like maybe tops out at 30% of offensive snaps per game,
which is still very impressive. I mean, that's still very cool. He is an elite athlete.
Yeah, I think he'll do it I think he'll he'll get to do some of that when he goes to the NFL for a few years, but eventually he will just kind of settle in just once. He's a great defender. I mean, like as a corner,
yeah,
I've said it before. I think all his wide receiver stuff is very flashy and it gets him all the headlines, and it's what helped get him the Heisman. If he just played cornerback, he would still be a top 5 pick. He's that good. He's an elite level corner. Like, match up with big guys on the outside. Like, he is everything you want in a cornerback.
I like him. He seems to, like, be a really good kid, and I think he's gonna. I don't have anything against Travis Hunter. I think he's. I really do. I was making a joke earlier, but
yeah, no, I know.
For the record, I do like him. It's just been funny to see people.
The discourse online is
freak out
about a kid who openly is like, "Yeah, I'm pretty boring. I just like to play video games and play football." Because someone asked him when he won the Heisman, like, "Do you think anyone else will ever do this?" He's like, "I don't think anyone else is as boring as I am and will try and play 2 positions full time like me because that's all I want to do. I just want to play football. Like, I don't have time to go party or do anything fun. I just want to practice football all the time." So I don't know. He seems fine. I think it's funny. All the people get mad online about it. It's like, who else do you think should have won Heisman this year? Honestly,
I mean, I think Genty would even had a bigger asterisk because
I do too.
You're talking about Boise State's schedule and competition.
And there were some games he didn't do. Like, he didn't go off.
He truly would not have done that.
If he would have ran for 200 yards plus every game and had multiple touchdowns every game, like, all right, I get it. But there were games where he had like 120 something yards and a touchdown against not great competition.
Agree. Sorry to hijack your conversation, Mason.
No, you're good. My last would you rather would be, Zach, would you spend 24 hours in a Waffle House with your dad eating waffles in order to win the championship?
Do I have to eat all 24 waffles?
It's just the same rules apply for the loser. If anybody doesn't know, you have to. Tens has done it before. You have to stay in a.
There's very little I would do to get a fancy.
You had to eat. No, I'm saying you had to eat the waffles because you lost. You wouldn't do that again to win a championship.
Nope, because that was miserable. Here's the thing: fantasy football's fun, and I'm in a lot of leagues, and it's fun. It doesn't burn me up inside like it used to. Gambling has taken a lot of my passion for fantasy football.
Set him on fire anymore.
Yeah,
he lost the spark.
Yeah, me and fantasy football are just kind of, like we're talking.
It's easy for you to say because you had a down season. I feel like if you were
a couple down seasons in the playoffs in a row now. I'm also in a spot where no one trades with me. Our rosters are essentially the way our league is set up by our correct commish is like your team that you draft is the team. Free agency sucks. There's only a few free agency pickups worth anything throughout the season. So, I like dynasty football leagues. I'm in a few of those. I keep up with those a lot more than I do regular fantasy football at this point.
That's the tough part about being commish. If you win, everybody said you cheated. If you lose, you lost.
I haven't won in a long time.
There's a point this season where I really thought I was going to get last place. So,
and now look at you.
I'm just happy to be here. Not eating waffles. Truly. Well,
Zach, you were talking about Heisman a little bit, and you had some trivia.
I do, for both of you. Mason, noted college football expert.
Yep, for sure.
I will say, for a draft guy, a lot of times Heismans are going number 1 overall, number 2 overall. So you should be fine here. Okay, I've got a list of the Heisman Trophy winners from the last 20 years. 2004 was the first notable one that I remember really being locked into. Just for reference, before that, 2003, Jason White, quarterback for Oklahoma,
undrafted.
Who in the world?
Sure,
really?
Pretty sure
he was undrafted. What in the world?
A lot of those guys from like the late 90s, early 2000s quarterbacks don't get drafted very high because the college scheme was looked down on to like NFL guys. If you weren't Peyton Manning's build of 6'5" plus and like 240 pounds pocket passer, like they didn't want you. These out quarterbacks with some mobility were like looked at like witches.
Okay. Witches.
Yep. And they had to be hunted.
So we're 2004 to 2024. We're going to take turns and we're going to name Heisman until somebody can't name one.
Ooh.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of Alabama on this list. There's a lot of just trying to get your brains rolling. There's a lot of Alabama. There's a lot of USC. There's some LSU's. There's some Oklahoma's, Florida's, Ohio State's. Just
all your big time programs.
Just get it churning.
Okay.
Tens. No, let's go Mason go first. Mason.
So you said 2004.
Yeah, but you can just pick anything, and
okay.
You can pick any.
I was like, if we're going in order, I'm in trouble.
Oh, you can start there. That was right.
Matt Leinart.
Correct. Matt Leinart, USC.
Leinart. Yep.
2004.
Reggie Bush.
Lefty?
Reggie Bush. He had it. He got taken away. Got it back.
Still had it. He always had it.
Reggie Bush, 2005. That's correct. Mason.
Come on, dude. 2006. Let's stay in order.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I can.
Okay, if we stay in order, I don't mind to give colleges. I'll give colleges. Okay.
Tens. Do you think you could? I don't think I could stay in order.
Ohio State.
Troy Smith.
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
Mason. Florida.
I don't remember it.
Mason.
Yeah. Hold on.
2007. He had a celebration named after him.
You will not find a football team.
Some of his halftime speeches on this very podcast. Mason, what in tarnation?
Is it running back?
Okay, it's Tim Tebow, Mason.
Timothy Tebow.
Oh my gosh!
I thought that was later.
Okay,
you're right.
Tens.
I can't do an order.
Oklahoma 2008.
Yep.
Sam Bradford.
Very good.
Dang. I'm so in trouble.
2009 Alabama, Mason. Running back.
Mark Ingram.
Correct. 2010. Do you have an idea? If I give you the school, it's going to be obvious.
Do it.
Auburn.
Oh, yeah, Cam
Newton.
2011 Baylor, Mason.
RG3.
Tens. A&M.
Johnny Football.
Mason. Florida State.
2013. No, wait, hold on. Our boy, Jameis Winston.
2013.
Hey.
Oh my. Tens. Oregon. 2014.
Marcus Mariota. The flying pineapple.
Right. What a guy. Mason, Alabama, 2015.
It's Derrick Henry.
Correct. Boy, I didn't realize the Titans got those guys back to back.
Yep. Still can't do anything with
it.
What a waste.
You guys made some playoff runs. You won the division multiple years in a row.
You're
right. Titans fans
didn't do enough.
You're right.
You guys went were the worst team in the league for 4 straight years, and then quick turnaround. No credit is given to Marcus.
I would rather have Kerry Collins right now than Will Levis.
Yes.
I went to some football games where Kerry Collins was y'all's quarterback. You need to take that back.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, Louisville, 2016.
Lamar Jackson.
Mason, Oklahoma, 2017.
Baker Mayfield.
Tens, yep. Oklahoma, 2018.
Kyler
Kyler Murray.
I forgot about the back-to-back Oklahoma there.
Mason, LSU, 2019.
Oh, my. Why am I going blank? I want to say Jaden Daniels, but that's not it.
It's not it.
Because he was last year. What's wrong? I just went too blank on Tim Tebow in this one.
Quarterback.
Oh, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Very good. It's the one that might trips people up. 2020. Alabama.
Jalen Smith. Or no,
Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith.
Yes.
Wide
Smith.
receiver. Is that the first wide receiver we've listed? Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
It is. Mason, Alabama, 2021.
Why am I going so blank all of a sudden?
Quarterback.
Everybody's yelling in their
I hope so.
Jalen Hurts. No. Did I just say Jalen Hurts? I give up.
Bryce Young. It's a little tricky because that was like his junior year.
The future, Bryce Young.
Or his sophomore year. That was his sophomore year. Because he played in 2022, but he won in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
10's 2022?
2022.
This is also kind of weird. It's another one that he didn't go to the NFL. USC.
Oh, yeah, Caleb
Williams
won. Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, he won it, and then he played, a whole nother season.
And then Jaden Daniels, 2023. And then we just had Travis Hunter, 2024. First cornerback since the greatest robbery in Heisman history, Charles Woodson. In 1997.
See, he won it for playing some downs on offense and being
I think that's why I'm bitter as well. See,
but
I think that's part of it.
He did a fraction of what Travis Hunter is doing offensively. But yeah,
I didn't want to give it to Peyton. Cowards.
NCAA has always hated Tennessee.
It's fact.
It's all right. We don't need them.
Even the video game hated us.
That's true. The video game gave us no love this summer, and look at us now.
Sure. Look at us now.
That home field advantage isn't going to be much this Saturday because, from what I hear, it's Vols North.
Boys,
Neyland North.
Yep.
I would love to go. I would love to go. I cannot go, but I would love to go. It's gonna be.
He literally said the last pod we were recording. He was like,
"I'd stand by it." Tickets are like reasonable.
If
they're cheaper
my wife
than
had surgery Monday morning, I think I would be trying to go as well.
They're cheaper than like almost every regular season, except for maybe like 2 last season. And
cheaper than Vandy tickets.
Insane. I was looking on the Game Time this morning. It was $191 for a lower level.
Tennessee fans are gonna be buying.
And then I looked at next season. Sorry, go ahead.
A lot of haters in the media be like, "Oh, it's overreaction, and there's no way they're gonna do." I'm just telling everybody out there, don't be shocked. And that stadium is got a lot of orange in it.
It would be cheaper for them to go lower level, get a hotel, drive to this game than it would have been for them to get nosebleeds at a Georgia-Tennessee game. 100%. I did the math.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yep. It's wild. Yeah.
And I don't know, Zach, you kind of explained it, but is it just the college, the area, like what SEC and Tennessee just pay way more for tickets? Is that what happens?
The average tickets at Tennessee have been more expensive than pretty much anywhere in the country. I think that it truly seems like Ohio State fans are like not super excited about sitting in 20-degree weather for an entire game.
Tennessee fans too.
They're looking ahead to the California trip next week or for the new year. And I think Tennessee fans are willing to sit in the cold for this game. It could be an interesting sight. I'm very excited for it.
Do Ohio State fans even want to win this game?
I've heard some of them don't. I truly have heard from like some actual Ohio State fans that if they lose, there's a chance Ryan Day is out. But they don't want to know what's going to happen if Ryan Day leaves. Can you imagine the transfer portal situation?
But
you don't.
But he's not
they
doing
would
anything.
All be gone.
No, I get that, but he's not doing anything with the team now. If you're the head coach at Ohio State, you get 5 stars regardless. Like that's just a given. You're going to get the 5 stars one way or the other. He is not. He's not developing these guys. He's not. I think he just sucks. I think he did good his first couple years because Urban Meyer had built a really good program and then faked heart attack or whatever it was this time to get out of some NCAA punishments. The guy's a coward and a crook and a criminal. But I don't know. Yeah, I think you're walking into a situation where this team's kind of just like, I don't know, like giving up already because of what happened with the Michigan game, and they're just kind of defeated.
I have 2 thoughts. One is they're already defeated and they're just kind of going to sleepwalk through this game.
Yeah.
The second one is they come in really angry about the Michigan game and wanting to prove to the world that they're not frauds or whatever. I don't know which one this is going to show up. I think regardless, if you punch him in the face a couple times, the defeated one could come out. I think there is an opportunity where all the people I know that follow Tennessee football said the Tennessee team looks pretty locked in and has had some really good days of practice. I mean, a lot of the freshmen are already on campus, like the early enrollees and stuff, and so they're with a team. And I've heard it's like been a really good practice environment, and it kind of feels like business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Tennessee's locked in. They've been looking forward to this all year. I think I don't know. It just depends on what Ohio State team walks out on the field. If they walk out and it's 50% orange and the away team is a little bit louder than the home cheers and the fans, they cut 3 and out and the fans start booing a little bit, what's going to happen to the psyche? Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a reality where that turns sideways pretty fast.
Well, and I've heard too, it's not going to be like just a regular home game environment as far as like it's like a neutral field. So both teams get their intro, they both get their hype up music and stuff. So
the music I think is controlled by the college football playoff instead of the home.
Yeah, it's like a neutral
both bands
DJ
will be there.
Yeah. Like that stuff's important in college football.
It is tradition. I mean, I think I don't know. It does. It feels like a lot of the media is not giving Tennessee very much of a shot, but it does feel like the ingredients are there for a potential.
This line's moved, right? Didn't it open at 9?
No, it opened right about 7.5. It stayed pretty.
It stayed there.
Maybe it opened at 8.5.
I thought it was a little bit
but it moved
higher.
Pretty fast to 7.5.
It's at 7 right now. I was looking earlier.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Do we want to do some bowl talk? Do we want to do some?
Yeah, I'm down. Do a little bowl talk here. Me and Zach haven't talked about it. I know last year we did almost every bowl game. I don't think we're going to do that this year just because, well, they've already started. Some of them have already started, but there are so many opt-outs, and with the college playoff being like the focal point, I think we're really going to be focusing on that. I do have some picks and a couple bowl games just quickly I wanted to talk about, and then obviously make sure you're in the Discord for all of our picks. I think I'm gonna have a pick for every playoff game. I think it's going to be something I do.
I like that.
So
parlay.
I'll have some parlays.
All of them.
Yeah. DraftKings has a promo right now that you have to do a parlay for the first weekend of games for $10, and they'll pick 100 lucky winners to get a $100 free bet. So I did that.
Wow.
If you want to see that parlay, you're going to have to join the Discord. Sorry. Rules are rules. Our corporate sponsors are saying we got to get the Discord numbers up.
It's true. UPS.
So, UPS is sponsoring our gambling Discord. Just joking, UPS.
Just kidding. It's a joke.
Joking. It's all jokes. Parody law. Just like when I said I was going to kill somebody if Doug Peterson and Trim Bulkey weren't fired.
Don't remember
You did
that.
say that.
I don't remember that.
It's a growing concern of my everyday life. Doug Peterson today was talking about Trevor's shoulder surgery, and he's talking about the spring OTAs. Like Trevor should be back for them. I was like, why are you talking about OTAs? You're not going to be here for those, Doug.
What if he is though? Oh gosh,
Zach, so help me. If Doug is here, but our GM gets fired, I can live with that. If they're both still here, death. If
how
Doug
could Doug keep his job with the season that they've had? It doesn't feel possible.
Because our owner is a joke. The only good thing I can say about him is he did the stadium deal. The Jags are in Jacksonville for the next 30 years. I don't have to worry about that till I'm an old man.
Not in England, London.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with those jokes anymore. But other than that, he has been the bane of my existence for the past 12 years he's owned the team. Like as an owner, I think his record's like 48 and 136.
It feels pretty bad.
It's just pretty bad. I think we've made like 3 winning seasons. It's not ideal. So
not good.
Yeah, no. Like I said, if Doug's here, but the GM has to go.
Big Doug.
I can live with Doug if the GM's gone. If they're both gone, great. If they're both staying, death. Someone dies.
But not really.
He's back. Maybe. He doesn't say who. He just said someone.
Someone. And I'm not saying by me. I'm just saying
there's
death.
Someone's probably
death
going
happens.
to die.
Yeah, death happens every day.
Yeah, Mason, get over it.
I didn't even say anything.
Oh, we saw you over there.
I was anticipating it.
You were stressing out.
So where were we?
Bowl games. A couple bowl games I like. Speaking of Florida, we'll stay in the sunny state. The Florida Gators versus Tulane. So right now, what I've been looking for is teams that finish the season strong and that are going to, and this is the same thing I did last year too. Teams that want to use this bowl game as extra practice, get, kind of build towards having a good spring and jump into the new season. I think Florida is that team to a T. Team that once they made the quarterback switch, the questions of is Billy getting fired went away. They started playing a lot better, had a couple upsets, ruined Ole Miss's season. What a shame. So they come into this game as a 12-point favorite against Tulane.
Sheesh.
Shout out Tulane. They just hired a guy from Cookeville, Tennessee to be their new head coach, right? Was it Tulane or was that Tulsa?
No, it was a much smaller school than Tulane.
Are you sure? He came from ETSU. I think it's Tulane or Tulsa. It's one of these T names.
Let me look it up.
While he's doing that, either way, I think Florida is going to flex their muscles a little bit here.
It's Trey Lamb, right?
Yeah, Trey Lamb.
Yeah, that's Tulsa.
That's
Tulane's a pretty big program.
It's a pretty big program. All right, so that was a sidetrack that was unnecessary. Okay. But I think Florida is going to come in, flex their muscles here a little bit, kind of show that they're a good place to come as far as the transfer portal goes. I think DJ Lagway is going to absolutely light up this Tulane team, who I don't know anything about Tulane, but minus 12.
They lost to Oklahoma when Oklahoma was still very bad. Yeah. 35-19. I think I think Florida probably runs them out the building. I mean, Tulane's had a good season
for them.
I know they were tossed around as that G5 candidate for a while. But they're a G5 team. I mean,
they gave Ole Miss all they could handle.
Yeah, this Florida team right now is playing like Florida and South Carolina. Between the two of them are playing as hot as anybody. Yep. And I wouldn't want to run into either of those teams who are going to be playing a lot of guys in this bowl game. Not a lot of guys in the transfer portal. They ended with a lot of momentum, especially if Florida's. I mean, Lagway is going to play. I would think, right? There's not been any talk of him sitting.
No,
So I think that could be big. I mean, I think
they really are using this as because you get an extra month of practice time.
Right.
That's awesome for building stuff towards the spring program and doing all that. So yeah, I think Florida is going to use that, and really, I think they're going to run it up on them, honestly.
Yep.
You brought up South Carolina. That was the second team I was going to talk about. They fit the mold too of the quarterback's coming back, a team that finished the season hot. It doesn't seem like they're going to lose their big time players in the NIL or in the transfer portal. There were some rumors of a couple guys, but I think for the most part they're going to be sticking around. Sellers kind of figured out how to play quarterback as far as the college quarterback goes. So proud of him. And I think this is just an Illinois team that
defensive line stood out as being very good.
Yeah.
For South Carolina.
Yes. I think South Carolina's defensive line kind of controls this game. Like, I just don't think that Illinois has the guys to block South Carolina. And South Carolina's got just enough on offense with Sellers that they should be able to cover this. I mean, minus 9.5. I would like for that to go down a little bit, but I'm comfortable taking it at 9.5. So that's another team that I love this bowl season. And then my last one was Texas A&M. Texas A&M, who is playing USC. USC made a QB switch towards the end of the season to a true freshman. Lincoln Riley, I think, is going to I think he's going to leave USC, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
I think it's been bad. He had the bench Miller Moss, who kind of was like the guy in waiting for a few years. He entered the transfer portal. They just had a very bad season. I think Lincoln Riley is going to just kind of wash his hands of college football and go be a play caller for the Bears next fall with his boy Caleb Williams, reunite with him or something, or maybe go down to Tampa and be the play caller there because their offensive coordinator is going to be leaving for a head coaching job up north, somewhere up north of Tampa, Florida, anywhere, because he's not going to go to Miami as the new head coach because they're not going to fire there. So Liam Cohen, or however you say his name, I don't know, comes from the McVay tree. He's going to be leaving Tampa. And I think Lincoln Riley could go reunite with Baker. So I think USC is just kind of – they're not a team I like taking in bowl games because I think their guys just don't care. Like, I think they kind of gave up on the season already. Texas A&M, their head coach seems like the kind of guy who's going to – this matters to him. Let's have a good first season and finish strong against a big name program like USC. So Texas A&M minus 3.5. That feels low. I don't know where the game is, but I would take them all the way up to 6.5. Honestly,
wow.
Anything under a touchdown is free money to me.
I know that Wegman is in the portal. I'm not exactly sure who else is for A&M, but I think Wegman already committed actually.
Did he?
A much smaller school. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
There's some talk about him getting drafted. All the guys that were going, like, it's crazy how fast this quarterback class, like, there were so many getting talked about, and then now all of a sudden it's like it's Shador Sanders and Cam Ward, and other than that, don't draft them.
Connor Wegman to Houston.
Oh, okay.
So Marcel Reed, which start there.
Yeah, and I think he'll just kind of, I don't know. I think they'll do a lot of the.
It's gonna be a weird game.
Read option stuff. It's a weird matchup. I think USC, just like I said, I just don't think they're gonna have the guys who care. I think they're gonna get hit pretty hard in the transfer portal. A lot of these guys are just gonna be like, well, it's whatever. Like this game means nothing to us. But Mike Elko is going to want his boys. I was going to say, I think Mike Elko is going to have the boys like fired up. Like, let's go win this thing. Let's go win this Mayo Bowl or whatever game it is. I don't even know what game it is.
How do you feel about the Georgia Tech Vanderbilt matchup?
Yeah, I thought we were going to talk about this one. I think this one could be one of the funnest bowl games to watch. That's not a college playoff matchup. You got two guys that have been playing college football for a long time in Pavia and Will Rogers for Washington. two teams that just never in a million years can I even think of when they've played or why they have played each other. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think
Wait, did you say Washington?
It's Washington, right?
Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt.
Sorry. Yeah. So that's King. What's his name? His last name's King. Two guys I like to run. I don't know where I had Washington. I guess
Washington's playing Louisville, which also is going to be a fun game.
I think that's the one we were texting about.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So no, this Vandy Georgia Tech game, that'll be a fun one as well, though, just because it's two teams that had some big upsets this year. Georgia Tech ended Florida State's whole program.
They didn't know it yet, but they did.
But they did. They were they somehow ruined their whole season from the jump over in Ireland. So
what a weird thing to look back on. Yeah, I think that'll be a fun game.
That'll be a fun game of two programs that are like kind of always been the punching bags of their conferences.
Really smart teams.
Yeah, but they're both kind of turning it around.
Yeah, both had really good seasons.
Diego Pavia won his court case against the NCAA. He gets to come back next season.
Yeah, shout out, I guess.
NCAA can take an L after all. They are not undefeated.
They've taken lots of L's this season.
Did you answer this earlier? Is he going to transfer or play another year with Vandy?
It seems like he's locked into Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Which means they must be paying him a bag. I mean, he's been worth enough just to ticket sales. Him being there and being a good football player has made a big difference.
He could have went somewhere. I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's a good college quarterback.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Any other games you wanted to mention here? Michigan?
Nope. That's going to be just disgusting.
What a gross.
Texas Tech, Arkansas. If you want to watch a game that's like going to end up being 60-67, like that's a game for you. That game should be high scoring. Texas Tech does not play any kind of defense. Oklahoma and Navy will be the ugliest football game.
They will be disgusting. Oklahoma's defense is awesome.
Sure.
It's going to be offensively just a horrible game.
Shout out to you if you watch that on purpose. Even as a gambler, I don't even know that I'm going to turn that game on or bet on it.
What's like the over-under on that game? 43.5.
43.5. Yeah, give me the under and
I'm
give
taking
me
the under on that.
Oklahoma -5 probably. Feels pretty good. I'll bet it. Not going to watch it though. Missouri getting into a bowl game. That's just gross. Missouri doesn't deserve it.
But they're probably still going to beat Iowa by a lot.
Probably.
Baylor LSU, 1 point spread.
Yeah, that's my who cares bowl. Brian Kelly, like what? You lost your number one recruit. Like,
they're cooked a little bit.
If they lose that game, LSU fans are just gonna be at his hat. Like they're gonna put for sale signs in his yard.
But they're in a tough spot for sure. Okay, is it time?
Yeah, let's get into some playoffs talk here.
All right, folks.
Some interesting first round games. I've been trying to get a read on them. It's been tough. So I want to hear where you're at.
Okay,
because I know where you're at on at least one of them. I think the UT spread is they accidentally put a plus. They meant to do a minus, and then they accidentally put the other line through it, and so now they're screwed.
Yeah, let's start on the first game of the weekend. All of these point spreads are over 7, so Vegas just thinks that the home teams are going to sweep here.
Yeah.
And they're giving them. So let's start with Indiana at Notre Dame. Indiana team that has been discussed ad nauseum this season. They played one game against Ohio State, got beat pretty bad. Notre Dame. This Notre Dame narrative is really interesting because they have looked very good since the NIU loss. the problem is that they just haven't had a ton of opportunities to prove themselves. They had Florida State on their schedule, who Florida State ended up being bad. They had USC on their schedule. USC ended up being pretty bad as well. And so since the NIU, they just haven't played a lot of quality competition. And so in my mind, Notre Dame is a little bit of a question mark. I think Notre Dame, people have just seen them consistently look good since early season, and they're just assuming they're getting better as a team.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure that's true. In the same way that we saw Indiana smoking people, and it was like, oh, Indiana, they're great. Is it actually true, or is their competition just really not great? Hard to tell. This might be the fraud bowl. We'll see which team actually is the fraud. This could end up as a very competitive game, to be honest with you. I can see this being a competitive game.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I said, I'm not sure Notre Dame is actually that good. I'm not sure Indiana is very good either. I think they're both. There's a reality where this could be a very fun, very evenly matched game at Notre Dame. What do you think? I don't know.
So Indiana, I bought in this Indiana team early because they started covering spreads every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I obviously, as a gambler, was like, okay, I love Indiana. I'm going to keep betting them, and they kept winning. But I don't think so. I agree. I think Notre Dame hasn't played anybody all year. It's easy to look good when you're playing Florida State, who's bad, and USC, who's bad. You lost to Northern Illinois, a MAC school, who's bad.
I mean, the marquee win was Texas
A&M, who
week
was
1.
An okay. Yeah, that Texas A&M team, like, is completely different today than they were first game of the season. So that makes me, I want to go look at the trends. I want to see where the public money is going and things like that for who I think is going to win this game. Because I think Notre Dame has an elite defense, a good ground game. I don't trust their quarterback, and I like their head coach. I think Indiana has the advantage at quarterback very clearly. I think that. I think they're probably a little better at skill position-wise at receiver, but I think Indiana's defense is not great. So I think I'm actually going to go with Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame is going to play a style of football that's kind of like what Ohio State did against Indiana, where they just run the ball and kind of just bully them a little bit. And I don't think Indiana's got the guys to get past that.
Okay, why don't we let's both take one side of the spread.
Okay. So I'll take Notre Dame minus, was it 7.5?
Okay, I'm going to take Indiana plus 7.5.
I
think it's a close one.
Yeah, I agree.
73% of money is on Notre Dame money line.
How much is
73%
of the money line?
Yeah, 57% is on Indiana plus 7.5.
Yeah.
So the public thinks Notre Dame wins, but Indiana covers.
Yep. I just think Notre Dame's defense will be the deciding factor in that.
Okay. Next up.
This is a weird
SMU
game. Such a weird game.
Penn State.
I wonder if these two have ever played each other in the history of their programs.
Probably not. I mean, they're like across the country. We're talking about Pennsylvania and Texas.
Yeah.
There's just no way they've ever played. I mean, it's SMU's first year in the Power 5, Power 4.
True.
We're looking at a plus 8 or an 8.5 point spread for Penn State. A Penn State team now that is noticeably without their backup quarterback. We mentioned it earlier. If something happens to Drew Aller, what in the world happens to this team?
Yeah, that's weird. Where he's entering the transfer portal and he's actually going to leave, because there are a few players that are like staying with their team through the playoffs or in the bowl games and then transferring. But the Penn State quarterback, the backup, is not, and he plays. I mean, he doesn't play a ton, but he does have some packages where they'll bring him in for some read option stuff, and he's a very like a athletic quarterback. So they have some packages for him. So I think that's kind of a tough loss for Penn State. I think you will see an effect of that after this game, because I think they can handle SMU. SMU. They played kind of a soft ACC schedule this year.
Yeah,
and yes, they went 11-1. They lost to Clemson by 3. But this is a team that really depended a lot on turnovers. Like, they had to force a lot of turnovers, and they play a weird style of offense that I don't love against a Penn State team they have athletes, they play good defense, and I don't know. I've bet on this Penn State team a couple times this year and kind of believed in them when I know I kind of shouldn't have. And maybe that's what happens to me again here. But I really do think Penn State can go on. I think they got a reward for finishing second in the Big Ten somehow, some way. I like their draw. So I like them to cover against SMU. I think SMU's a nice story. I think Penn State wins by like 10 plus.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Penn State minus 8.5 as well. I just think that before the Big Ten championship game, I think I would have said something different here. Penn State looked pretty good against Oregon, better than I thought they were going to look.
Yeah,
they were competitive. They were playing hard. They matched up. I mean, they looked more like a complete team than they have all season, I think. And I think SMU is a good team, a fun story. I would like to see SMU win this game. I think SMU would be a fun story to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Penn State wins pretty big. Yep. 82% of bets on Penn State money line. 52 on Penn State minus 8.5.
Public's right sometimes.
Could be. Okay. Next.
This has got to be the worst. I think this is the game I care about the least of the whole first round.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
two programs I don't like.
Yeah. Clemson at Texas. This would be such a Clemson thing for them to come and win this game.
Yep. Go 9-3.
I just don't want it to happen.
Somehow find a way.
Just out of spite, I don't want Dabo to win this game.
But isn't it such a Texas thing too to also lose?
That would be a Texas
in the first round.
There's got to be an upset somewhere. Have we given one yet so far?
No, we've both not said.
And they're all 7+ point favorites.
Yeah.
Well, we gave one. We all know.
There's got to be one, right? Yeah, I would think so.
Well, I would also think so, Mason.
Yeah, I'd also think one.
Maybe that's when we look at all of these. Ohio. There might be one happening. Yeah. So it's a 12-point spread.
That's crazy to me. I don't think Texas is a 12-point. I don't think they're 12 points better than anyone in this playoff, other than maybe Indiana and SMU.
The question, man. I mean, the question is going to be like, will that Texas defense just completely shut Clemson down? I think there's a chance that happens.
Clemson's defense is good too, and there's something about this Texas offense is just broken.
Yeah,
and it has
Arch
been
Manning
since...
see the field some more. This Texas team has looked very good at times, and it's just looked pretty bad at times.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like most teams in the country. They've had really high moments and just moments where it's like, oh, this team very good.
But their bad moments are bad, like just really bad.
They lost to Georgia twice. Rest of their schedule was pretty soft. A lot of wins against teams that aren't great. I don't know. This is a tricky one.
Who did they lose to? Did they only lose to Georgia?
Twice, yeah.
That's it. They almost lost to Vandy.
Yep.
And then I don't think they really had any other scares the rest of the season.
Not really. Yeah. They didn't play a very tough schedule, though. And they had Kentucky. They played at Arkansas, which Tennessee lost there. But they won there pretty comfortably. They played Oklahoma, won pretty comfortably there as well.
Yeah.
Their SEC schedule was just very soft.
I'm on Clemson plus 12.
Wow.
I am. I just have seen this story with Texas too many times, man. I've seen Sark not do what he's supposed to do. Like the obvious thing, Quentin Ewers is bad. I think we can all agree. I think Arch Manning gives them a dynamic to the offense that they need as far as his running ability. It was that was working when he did that against Georgia in the SEC championship game, and he stopped doing it because he has this loyalty. Sark has a loyalty to the quarterback because he said he was going to be his guy.
Well, it's about to end.
Yeah,
it might be over now. Actually,
that's what I
probably
think.
over.
And Clemson's just like this is the most Dabo thing ever. Of somehow find a way in the playoff, win your first round game, Mister. I don't do NIL. I don't do transfer portal. This is the way college football should stay, blah, 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 and somehow gets it done.
I'm on Texas minus 12.
You know what I'm heard about? Tinsley talking about yours being as bad as he is and just trashing the guy. You know how many times this guy has wished yours on me and my Titans like team drafting him?
Hey, newsflash for you, pal. I don't want the Titans to succeed ever. I don't know why you take that as a personal offense.
Why are you wishing that upon me?
I don't like the Tennessee Titans. I was 6 years old. My first football memory is the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game and your stupid Tennessee Titans beating us. At 6 years old, I cried about it.
It's called childhood trauma, Mason.
That's what it's called.
Read about it.
Aren't you supposed to be on my side, Zach? You're a Titans fan.
Zach's not a Titans fan.
Oh,
until they fix their issues.
I would like them to fix some issues. I'm
on Texas minus 12.
I'm on Texas minus 12. I think Clemson. I'm not going to change my narrative about Clemson just because they beat this SMU team that I'm not sure is elite anyways.
By 3 on the last second buzzer.
I'm not going to sit here. Clemson played the best game of the year. They beat an SMU team that is fine, but an SMU team that lost to BYU, who turned out not to be that good anyways. Texas has their talent levels higher.
For sure.
Quarterback play, even if Tens is trashing on it, is better than Cade Klubnik.
You think so? It's it's a mid off.
It could be a mid off. I will say, I think this probably isn't close. I think there's a reality where it is a close. I think any of these games could be just come down to it. I don't know. I guess that's the fun of the playoff. These teams that don't normally play each other, and you get to see some matchups that no one would have expected. So, congrats! We get Texas Clemson first round. Who would have thought? I'm in Texas minus 12 though. Okay, last matchup of the day. One of the lower point total over-unders in definitely the lowest of the playoff games.
First round, yeah.
But one of the lower in all the bowl games, 46.5. 7.5 point favorites, Ohio State hosting your Tennessee Volunteers.
It's crazy how much of an under team Tennessee has become. Ohio State as well this season. Like they both lean heavy on their defense and run games.
Definitely.
Not what you think of. Like just a couple years ago, you had Hendon Hooker throwing 50-yard bombs multiple times a game, and Ohio State had C.J. Stroud and Justin Fields. Like two teams that you think offense and big plays, and now it's kind of shifted to defense and run the ball.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We've already talked about it a little bit. I do think the defenses are going to kind of dominate this game. I think there is a reality where the offensive line issues for Ohio State opens up a potential for Tennessee's defensive line to dominate that side of the ball.
That's the key.
And to wreak havoc on Will Howard. Don't give him any time to get the ball to his elite wide receivers. He has elite wide receivers, but I think they're gonna try and disrupt him back there. I think the same could be true on the other side. I think Ohio State's defensive line could give a lot of problems to the run game that Tennessee has leaned on so much this season, and to bail them out of so many bad situations. I think there's a reality where if Tennessee's run game gets stuffed pretty good and Will Howard can't get a lot going, this game is very low scoring. Mm-hmm. I think that benefits Tennessee.
I agree.
I think if we get into a similar game like Michigan got in with Ohio State, where it was really close late, really low scoring, hard for teams to get the ball in the end zone. I think if it's close late, it's a coin flip. And so I think Tennessee would take that at this point. I don't see this being a Tennessee blowout win. I have a hard time putting that narrative in my brain and trying to figure out how that works. But I also have a hard time thinking it would be an Ohio State blowout win. So I think it's going to be close. I'm taking Tennessee plus 7.5.
Yeah, I think these teams are more similar than they are different. I just don't see where plus 7.5 isn't. Like, that's a crazy number. This is a one possession game all day between these two teams. Even take my UT fandom like out of it. Like, this is a one score game both ways. So plus 7.5, like that's an easy bet to me. I think it's going to just come down to which quarterback doesn't make the mistake first. The bad pick six, the bad sack fumble, holding on to the ball too long, like those things you can't do. So, and I think Heupel will have Nico ready, and I just don't think Will Howard, when it's time to be in a big game, in a big game situation, he's shown that he's not that guy. And I don't think I don't think Nico's proven it yet, but he's also a freshman. Will Howard is a fifth-year senior who has shown he's not, like, even back to Kansas State, he couldn't do it. So I trust Heupel. I think the coaching advantage is real. I think Heupel is a significantly better college football coach than Ryan Day. So yeah, I definitely agree. UT plus 7.5 feels like a legitimately good bet.
Feels good.
Also, the money line on the sprinkle of the dinkle.
Zach, are you taking the first quarter? I feel like we always take first quarter
spread
bets on UT. Yeah.
What is it? Do you know?
I can tell you.
I did put all four of those spreads together, and I parlayed them.
What was it at? First quarter UT is plus 2.5 at plus 100.
Plus 100.
The dreaded field goal hook.
I took it at plus 1173. 4-pick parlay. Indiana plus 7.5. Penn State minus 8.5. Texas minus 12. Tennessee plus 7.5.
Well, because I'm not a coward, I will also be doing that with my picks. So I've got Notre Dame minus 7.5. Penn State we agreed on. I am taking Clemson and I am taking UT. I got 12.30 plus 12.30.
Wow.
Them underdogs got a little extra juice. Just willy-nilly, just bet it. Who cares? It's fine. It's just money.
It's just money.
Who needs it?
Great work.
All
also
right.
I have a pretty nice Tennessee to win the national championship ticket.
Just staring at you. I got some Tennessees and some Oregon tickets looking at me. Which I hate that they're playing each other in the second round, but you know,
I also
it is
have a
$1
10-pick parlay in my bet slip from tens.
Yeah, I got a little wild last night and just I don't know. I was looking at college basketball conference winners and I saw a line that I could not believe. And I was like, well, let's just kind of mess around for a second. And next thing I knew, we had 10 picks.
That happens.
It was $1 to win 122,000. So,
hey, it just takes one.
Should we put that on the Discord?
Actually, we'll take 10.
But it just takes one bet. Yeah, I'll throw in the Discord for anyone who wants to join.
Tempt people on it a little bit. Make DraftKings go bankrupt.
Ooh, what if enough people bet it, they offer us a cash out? Like, hey, wait a second. These guys must know something we don't know.
I'll be honest. If it gets up to like $2, I'm cashing out. If it seems like any amount, cash out. It's over.
They're never going to offer it because one of the legs is Scotty Scheffler to win the Masters, and with golfing tournaments, they won't offer it. because I've had futures with like legs that have won, and it's like randomly I'll have a golfer in there, and they're like, "No, sorry, bud."
It's like plus 400. It wasn't that crazy.
Yeah,
like
he's
Scotty
the favorite.
Scheffler. Like,
yeah, he's favorite. All right. Did we? Oh, as far as other college bowl games and playoff talk, obviously, come back for Monday's episode. We'll have a recap of the game's first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we'll be previewing, doing all that stuff. But make sure you join us in the Discord and come talk to us. Like we're in there. We can come chat about these games. We can yell about refs.
Be locked in. Yeah.
So make sure you're in there with us for more than just picks. It's a good place to get all of our picks, but we also just kind of chop it up in there. It's like a big group text. So if you are interested in doing that with us, that is what that is for. And if you cannot figure out how to join the Discord, hit us up on the gram. We can send you a link. Links don't work on TikTok for some reason. Some kind of weird feature where you can't post links. TikTok, so lame. All right. Did we want to finish up with a little bit of NFL news? We've got some kind of groundbreaking news, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just happened today. So so if you're listening to this Thursday morning, this happened Wednesday night, so Wednesday afternoon. But some big news in the NFL out in Hotlanta. Mason, what is going on?
Yeah, so you remember that time that they paid Kirk Cousins a 4-year, $180 million guaranteed?
A fat guarantee for a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah. So he in the last 5 games, he's had 9 picks and 1 touchdown, and they decided to bench him for Michael Penix Jr., which was one of the hot topics for the draft. No one saw it coming. So they're 7-7. Is that correct? 7-7. So they have a chance to still. It's a small chance, but they're
still in their division race. Like the Bucs aren't too far ahead.
So it's one of those things where they went ahead and made the change, and if they ended up releasing Kirk Cousins at the end of the season, he would be paid out $90 million just to play the 14 games. Do you think it's a good move? How you feeling about this? I mean, obviously, it's not looking good that they paid Kirk that much money, but what do you think about the change so soon?
I don't think it's a bad idea to go. I mean, I think they kind of know they're out of it. Tampa's last 3 games are against the Saints, the Panthers, and there's somebody else in there that's bad. But pretty easy last 3 games. Kind of feels like they've got the division on lock unless they do something dumb and like lose to the Saints or the Panthers. So I think the Falcons are kind of waving the white flag, and let's see what we've got in Michael Penix and kind of just say, hey, this is the future. I don't know whose decision it was to give Kirk Cousins all that money and then draft Michael Penix because you're just setting yourself up for this situation to happen. And I don't know what they do moving forward. You can't cut him because you ruin your salary cap situation for years. So you kind of have to hope that there's a team like what the Steelers did. The Steelers traded for Russell Wilson. Kind of have to hope there's a team that is willing to kind of do the same trade. But I don't know that there is one, honestly.
Yeah, because so forgive me, was there not dead money with that? Even though they traded, Broncos had to pay out, right?
They still,
or am I crazy?
The Broncos still this season and next season have a pretty big cap hit as far as Russell Wilson goes. It's significantly less than when he was going to be on the team.
Okay, so would that still happen? That would still be the same situation with
that was. And Russell was already 2 years into that contract. This is 1 year of Kirk.
1 year.
The bulk of his contract is still ahead. So I don't know a team that's going to be willing to essentially pay for the Falcons' mistake, because I don't know anyone who's going to be in a bad enough quarterback situation to do that, because you do have the draft is coming up, and both teams that are going to be picking 1 and 2, the Raiders and the Giants, they're going to get their guys. They're going to get Cam Ward. They're going to get Shador Sanders. Sam Darnold's going to land somewhere. And so then you look at around the league and you're like, well, where's he going to end up? There's only 32 jobs. And You're only going to pay a quarterback that kind of money if you think your window is right now. Like that's what the Steelers did. Steelers made that trade. Or no, they signed Russell Wilson in free agency. The Broncos made that the deal back then to trade for Russell Wilson because they thought they could win the Super Bowl right then. I don't know if there's any team with a bunch of cap space that's like, yeah, we can make a trade for Kirk Cousins and go after a Super Bowl next season. I just don't know who it would be.
I'm just looking back. It's easier to say it now, but like, why didn't they just keep like Desmond Ridder as the transfer quarterback to like hand the keys over to Michael Penix?
I think they really thought they would get 2 years out of Kirk.
Yeah.
The way his contract set up was like after 2 years, the number kind of dips down a little bit to where it was manageable to trade him. And Kirk just kind of fell off a cliff. Like he played okay at some points of the season, but then out of nowhere, it's just like Father Time's undefeated.
Yeah. And with the injuries and everything. And even with Michael Penix, this will help him get, even if they're not in the playoffs, this will help get these 3 games to set up for next season.
Yeah.
So,
the one team I've seen like floated is that the 49ers might trade for Kirk Cousins because of the Shanahan's love for Kirk Cousins. And Brock Purdy is due for it. Like they do have to sign Brock Purdy. And that's where we're about to have a very interesting summer of, do you pay Brock Purdy as the top, does he get the top quarterback money? Or do you tell Brock Purdy like, hey,
we let you walk.
We know who you are as a quarterback. We think you're good. You're great for the system, but you need to have the best talent around you. Well, we can't pay we can't have Christian McCaffrey. We can't have George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, an elite defense if we're paying you $65 million a year. Will you do what Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady do and take a significantly less contract so we can pay everyone else? And I don't know that he will. I don't know that. I mean, he doesn't have to. He could say, no, I'm cool. I'll walk. And then some free agent team like the Raiders will hand him $4 bajillion. So that's going to be an interesting. Yeah. Gajillion.
Yeah.
It's science. Look it up.
Okay, well, a little rapid fire here. Will Levis had a heck of a game last week. I'm being sarcastic. Saw this coming. Don't want to brag a little bit, but Christmas is a week out, so it's Mason Rudolph time, perfect time, Christmas time. I already saw into the future, and DraftKings is going to do some ridiculous holiday parlay pre-made thing, and it's going to have Mason Rudolph rushing yards or to throw a touchdown or something ridiculous in there. So there's that. And then Vrabel talks already. Everybody's already trying to grab.
Hold up.
Yes, go ahead.
So what do you do now as a Titans fan? You don't have a high enough draft pick to take Shador or Cam Ward.
We just go to free agent. Right,
Sam Darnold?
Tins, we talked about this over and over again. It's a double tank situation.
Double tank.
But double tank situation doesn't exist in the NFL. Double tank.
It does for us.
What are you talking about? We're just talking about the Titans had two Heisman picks in a row.
That was
a double tank. People got Derrick Henry, Marcus Mariota.
People were fired. GMs were fired.
Who cares? Fire everybody. I don't care. Double tank. Tank the whole program.
Double tank.
The people running the team are not going to double tank because they'll get fired.
They might accidentally. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't think they're very smart.
As you can tell with their last couple decisions anyway. So
don't take a quarterback this cycle. Take another role player. Take somebody you need. Wait for next year where there's going to be some quarterbacks open. Double tank. Don't be stupid. Don't reach for somebody dumb.
If they would have listened to me and got Bryce Young, traded for him for a 3rd round pick when they could have, I'm mad about it. Listen, it's a good old double tank situation.
So is it Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, or
Jameis?
No. Jameis Winston.
Jameis.
Get him on there.
I do think there's a bridge quarterback potential.
I already talked about this. Get 4 washed up young quarterbacks. Yes, it exists. A washed up. You don't have to be 40-year-old. Yeah, you get a washed up. Get like a Trey Lance, all this second chance guys out there, or fourth chance, whatever you want to call them.
Bryce
Get a
Young.
bunch of young guys, throw them all in there to compete against each other, and then double tank. That's all it is. Hashtag double tank. Okay, last thing. Vrabel, Jets, Bears, or what was the last one? It wasn't the Jags, was it? No, it
Back
wasn't.
to Titans, maybe?
Back to the Titans? Patriots was the...
Patriots.
North Carolina?
Fire their coach, though.
Defensive coordinator?
He's on the
his son
Browns
is the
staff.
defensive coordinator. Just kidding.
Nice little pause in there. Any comments, question?
No, I think Vrabes. Is going to have his choice of where he wants to go this cycle.
Wow. Would he look good in teal? Yes or no? And then we'll wrap up the pod.
He's the third best option in teal.
I want to hear the top 2, and then we're done.
I want to hear your top 10.
Top 10, top 20.
All right, Ben Johnson. I can't say his name. The Bucs offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, I think is how you say his name. Perhaps.
Bill Belichick. Where's Bill Belichick on the list?
Not on the list ever. Lucky for me, he's in North Carolina. I don't have to worry about it.
Only for now.
He didn't go there just to leave. That's what he said.
Well, we'll see about that. If he gets an NFL offer, he's out of there.
His buyout
Or are
is
we
in a
joking?
way that it can happen this season. As soon as like January
That's what I'm
hits, his
saying.
buyout's like $1 million or something. It's crazy. And then Vrabel.
Million.
I think Vrabel's number 3. I would like Vrabel.
All right.
That's the top 3.
Then
Then
your
Clint
17
Kubiak.
top 20s.
Clint Kubiak, Cliff Kingsbury, trade for Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin.
A good old
I would trade.
trade.
I would trade our top 5 pick for Mike Tomlin right now. Kyle Shanahan, if he's fired, is way up the list. Myself.
Jim Harbaugh.
Actually, no, I'm not. I don't
Ryan
want to be
Day.
the coach. I'd like to be the defense. I would like to be the GM. That's where I could do some damage.
Lincoln Riley.
Nope, not on the list. Lincoln Riley, not on the list. Debo Sam or not Debo? I always say Debo. Dabo Sweeney, not on the
Dan
list.
Lanning.
I would take Dan Lanning. He's probably in my top 10.
Les Miles.
10. Les Miles. I'm all right. I'm good on that one.
All right, is that a pod, everybody?
Wrap it up.
All right, thank you everybody for listening. A good old record. Is this the record of the longest pod, possibly?
Close, at least.
Okay, well, thank you
I don't
all
know
for
if it's the
listening to our yammering for an hour and 17 minutes. We appreciate everybody. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll have some holiday special, maybe. I don't know who knows what's happening, but we'll figure it out. So you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.
Now it's been for 18 minutes of yammering.
Amazing.